What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 56 of the LARNE project here in Football Manager 2019. Hopefully you guys are good today. It's a massive double header for us. If you missed last episode, it was Europa League action, and while we return for some more, today we are going to be taking on FC Luzern, and following on from that, we are actually going to do a domestic game for once. We're going to do the County Antrim Shield final, which is against Addons, a game which I very much expect us to win, but given the fact we did Luzern last time out, I want to mix things up, so we're going to do a double header here today. In truth, it's only been 2 weeks since you were last here, but despite that, we have played 5 games, so not a whole lot's happened off the pitch, but on the pitch there's been plenty of action. To go through this fairly quickly, you can see we started off with a 4-0 win against Crusaders. We then followed that up with a County Antrim Shield semi-final 6-1 win, again against Crusaders, so 2 wins in the space of 3 days against them. The next game we had against Ballymena, a good little performance this one. Perhaps a little bit of fortune about the first goal that we got in this game, but we very much punished Ballymena. They are a side who last year were one of the top dogs in the league. They really did push us very hard. Following on from this result, they actually sacked their manager, which was a little bit drama-filled, I guess. But yeah, 5-0, a fantastic little result. Good to see Lille get into some form. Glenn Dining also picking up a goal to add to his collection. And, well, having kind of over the last few weeks prior to this scraped by a few goals, it was really nice in this run of games that we've had as of late to go out there without too much fear and just slaughter teams, get a lot of goals, because it's something that we haven't been doing a great deal of as of late. And well, following on from this 5-0 win, you can see we took on Coleraine in the league, and well, we couldn't quite match the previous performance, but 4-0 this one finished. Musa Sissoko with his first goal for the club, absolutely fantastic little landmark for him to hit. And then a bit of variety in the goal scorers. Stevie Pestridge scored from the penalty spot. A good little finish by him. Paul O'Connor, who has dropped off a little bit. He had a fantastic start to the season. Since then, he's kind of been a bit hit and miss. He added one. And, well, the last goal of the game, my personal favourite, actually, out of the goals we've scored in recent games. It was a really nicely worked move. The ball from the right-hand side pulled in to Wright, who then laid it off delightfully to Frame to tuck home. And, yeah, 4-0 is how that game finished. Very, very convincing performance there. Anyway, one more game we played against Not Breda in the Northern Irish Football League Cup. A 3-0 away win, rotated team, rested team. I want to give ourselves the best chance of beating Luzern, who, of course, we lost to last time out. Anyway, since we go into this European game, we have got some changes to, do. And the issue that we've got is that both fullbacks today are suspended. So both the Cyborg at right back and our left back, Kieran Kane, unavailable for selection for today's games. Both have accumulated too many yellow cards, so it's not ideal. It does mean at right back we're going to go with Sam Robinson, who I have a lot of confidence to step up to the plate and give a good performance at right back. However, at left back we don't have a whole host of options, so Conor McDermott is the man to come in. We'll see how he gets on. Obviously, normally what I do if Kieran Kane was to get injured or suspended is I'd move the Cyborg to left back and then bring in a right back. With both of our left back options being out, Conor McDermott coming in isn't the ideal solution, but he is kind of the best option I have for this game, really. Kind of speaking. I'm just looking at the team as a whole. I am tempted to start Steve Pestridge here, but his form's been pretty meh as of late, and Lille and Dixon have been playing well. You know what? Dixon coming to the team. Lille will have as an impact sub option, but the rest of their team just looking very, very good. We've found some good form lately. You've seen the goals have been flying in. You can see O'Connor's got 10 for the season. Wright's with 17. Bannon with 10 as well has really contributed a hell of a lot this year. He's come in a fair amount of times at centre attack in mid. Also played striker for us when we've needed him to. And in truth, he's done very well wherever we've played him. So if we need to play him there, he can very much come on and be a difference maker for us today. So we go into the first game of today's episode. It's pretty much a must-win game. You can see Ajax and Lokomotiv Moscow already played their game in the group stage actually 2 hours earlier. Ajax won 3-1. So you'd have to say whoever wins this game between ourselves and Luzern really puts themselves in pole position as my PC tells me I have updates. That's awkward. I've lost my trail of thought. Please send help. Apparently I need to install some new drivers. I'll do it after this, please, PC. We've got more important fish to fry. But yes, if we were to draw this game, everyone would be tied on 7 points with 1 game left. if we win, we're in a great position, and that's what we're going to try and do. Right, let's see if we get in here. I need to recompose myself. That PC update sound was almost a jump scare for me. I'm hoping that is going to be the most traumatic part of today's video, and that the results on the pitch aren't going to be any worse. Here's our team for today's game. It's unusual for us to have 4 non-regen players in our team. You can see on their side of things. I'm just wondering if there's any players I recognise here. I feel like I've heard of Schulz's name from somewhere, but I could not tell you where. Maybe it's because he played for Gladbach. Who knows? Answers on a postcard. Either way, it's not a team full of household names, but as we learnt last time out, Luzern, they are capable. They beat us last time out, and we're going to have to be at our best here at home to get something from this game. Hopefully Justin Wright is going to be able to be clinical in front of goal and just take all the opportunities that fall his way. Anyway, let's get into this game. Playing the 4-2-3-1. It's the system we know best. Of course, keep an eye out in the fullback positions. That's going to be an area of note here today. You know, how can our, I guess, backup players do in this area, particularly at left back, as the ball immediately comes down there right, which is where our left back, of course, is going to be. I'm hoping McDermott's going to be up to the test. O'Connor, not known for his defensive abilities, might need to have a little bit more of a defensive mindset. As our inside forward, he might need to work back a little bit more. But to begin with, at least, we're just going to stick with what we know. And at least early on, we're dominating possession. We've got a chance here. Keefe frame set piece. It's what he does best. And that was not far wide at all. Side netting denying us what would have been a delightful long-range free kick had it hit the back of the net. Of course, we're playing at Windsor Park here. Just in a little bit of off-the-pitch news, the board have agreed to expand our stadium at the end of the year to 5,500 seats, which is absolutely fantastic as Thompson puts in a great save. You'll notice Jared Thompson is back in the team. I talked last episode about the fact that, you know, Cockbill had kind of given me a reason to consider him for the first team. I am very much rotating the 2 players on an alternate basis. You know, one will play in the league, one will play the cup games and the Champions League. And to be honest, they've both been performing great. And Jared Thompson there has just made another great save from the corner as well. We've got to deal with this here. The Iron Man himself is going to get it out. Downey Jr., no nonsense, of course. LARNE, born and bred. Can we apply pressure high up the pitch and maybe force an error out of them? That is what we are going to try and do here. On the other hand, Luzern trying to pass it out from the back, trying to work it from deep, using our game plan, and it's a big ball over the top to Dem Heisage. Maybe that's how you say his name. Probably not, but he's missed it, and we're going to hoof it clear. So, 25 minutes gone. It's been a very even game. I'm going to do a little bit of a shouty shout. I want a bit more from us, please, boys. If we could try and just get our head into the game a little bit more, it'd be great. O'Connor's not had the best game. Wright's not been too great, although I guess that applies to both teams. It's been a very meh first half thus far. We've had a lot of the ball. We now have a set piece. Frame whips in. Dixon's there, saved. The rebound saved again, and it's gone out for a corner somehow. The first real chance for us this game. Keeper with some heroics. Maybe we can make something from the set piece. Back post. No one there for us. Downey Jr. maybe to recycle it. It's the pointless highlight, Jack. Why are you even getting remotely excited? Coming up to half-time here, a goal for either team would be a real sucker punch to the recipient. And we'll Luzern looking maybe to be the team to deliver that blow. They bring the ball forward down this right-hand side. Thompson, what a save by him. McDermott at left-back, making all my worst fears come true. Just didn't look particularly great, did he there? At left back, gave a lot of room for them to get in behind. But at half time, it's going to be 0-0. I'm going to get a little bit shouty. Boys, I'm not happy. Paul O'Connor feels demotivated. Right, Paul. Passionate. There's a lot to come from you. Look at that, he's delighted. That man management. Identifying the one player who's on his bill, who doesn't really agree with everyone else, who's all on board with, yeah, we need to do better. Just go over, have a quiet word in his ear. Maybe he can now give us a performance to remember in the second half as a result. Anyway, and Ndenge bringing the ball forward for them. He was a household name last game when he really did, well, tear us apart and got the winning goal, if I'm not mistaken, in that 2-1 win for Luzern. A draw would not be the end of the world, but, well, given how this game's gone, I feel like we are the team edging it slightly. Perhaps not in the quality of the chances, but in the quantity of them. And if we can keep creating them, hopefully we can take a golden one when it comes our way. Wright and Glendining linking up very nicely here. Glendining puts the ball out to McDermott, to O'Connor. Attempts the cross in, it gets blocked, back to right. Robinson, the right back, surely not. I mean, he wouldn't normally be playing. He might be playing a little bit more now. The Cyborg's replacement, Sammy Robinson, top finish by him. Definitely not anywhere near as offensive as a fullback compared to the Cyborg. Going forward, doesn't have that same delivery into the box. But that shot there, make no mistake, that is a delightful little finish into the bottom corner. And with that, we go top of the group. This is the kind of game where a moment of quality could be the difference maker. But we need to remain switched on. Endeng with the header there at the near post. They're going more attacking. That might open them up just a little bit more at the back. Paul O'Connor at left mid has played poor. Let's bring in Lil for him, just at inside forward. Lil, very much a player who I thought would be better this year than he has been. He was just the household name last year, fans player of the year, my player of the year, debatably as well. This year he's been very, very absent, but maybe this is the kind of game where he can get going. You might have seen in the game against Ballymena, he did pick up 2 goals. He has been finding his feet a little more in the league. Still not really done enough to convince me that he was worthy of starting today's game, but he's going to have a chance and a platform to perform here. Our midfield as a whole has been pretty poor here. 13 minutes left. I'm going to bring in Stevie Pestridge. And it is going to be somewhat controversially for Glendining. The fan club are not happy. Glendining has been called up to the Northern Ireland national team, if I'm not mistaken. He's yet to make an appearance for them. But in the upcoming international break, we might well be seeing him on the big screen, name up in lights, taking on Moldova or some other team that Northern Ireland will play in a friendly. I don't know who they're playing, but he might play for them, alongside, of course, Downey Jr. Anyway, time is trickling away here. It's another very tight game. This group that we're in for the Europa League is unbelievably tight. Ultimately, however, we are going to get all 3 points here. And whilst we didn't get the away goal... we did get the away goal against Luzern, of course. So if it came to head-to-head against them, we would also be the better team, which could prove crucial depending on how the last few games go. Of course, our last game against Lokomotiv Moscow, still an incredibly big game. Sissoko's out for 3 to 5 days. That's fine. We can send him to the physio to cut it down a little bit. £500,000 received for that result, just in terms of finances, something I've not talked about a lot recently. Obviously, a massive amount of transfer and wage budget, but our actual finances themselves are in really, really good stead. These European campaigns over the last few years, combined with a wage budget which really hasn't expanded that much in terms of our actual spend, means that we have, over a period of time now, amassed a nice little war chest of money that maybe we can dip into at some point in the future. Anyway, that is not the only game we're going to do today. Just to quickly look before we go forward at the Europa League. You can see here, top of the group, but against Lokomotiv Moscow, we still need to win to really control our own fate. In fact, a draw would be good enough at this point, but a loss, and we're relying on results to our way. So hopefully it doesn't come to that. We are going to be at home. We are going to be at an advantage. But of course, that game is not until January now. We have a 2-month break, so plenty of time for drama to build up there. And of course, before we go today, we're going to do one more game. We're going to go and take on Addons in the County Antrim Shield. So let's get forward to that. We are massive, massive favourites. Hopefully, we can put in a performance similar to some of the other ones we put in the league. And give you guys a bit of a taster of what you've been missing out on whilst we've been focusing in live comms at the the European campaign this year. Okay guys, so we're back here for the second game of today's episode. It's against Addons. I'm hoping it's going to be routine. My word, English is difficult. But it should be a routine result, I hope, this one. You can see here, Addons down in 9th in the league. We should be better than them. That's the aim today. Just quickly, the Glentoran game, you can see it finished 2-0 here. Future Jack's going to put in the highlights now, but Pestridge scored from the penalty spot. We grabbed a second goal in this game, which made it comfortable, and Pestridge then went on to miss another penalty. They also had a sending off in this game, but yeah, very, very standard league win against Glentoran, who have been struggling a little bit down in 10th, as you can see here. And, hopefully against Addons, who are not much better in the league standings, we're going to be able to put in an equally good performance, this time with our first team. But, and I held off showing you this because I wanted to reveal it because it's kind of funny and I want to cry about it. This is the state of my first team for the cup final. Yes, international duty has happened, so I don't really know what to do. I honestly think because there's so many people here. My best bet is actually to quick pick whilst having the under-20s selected, so our assistant can pick in the under-20s, then just fixing the team ourselves with bits where I disagree. Centre-back is going to be a problem because Morrison's away, Crawford's away, Ironman's away, Subawale's away, McCoyd's away. Jim Meister is probably going to have to play centre-back today. This might not be as routine as you were expecting, I know. This is one of the things that I've had to deal with a few times during my time here at LARNE, but I've never really shown. It does mean that O'Sheen is back in the team. He's been gone a little while. You might have forgotten about him. He was a key part of our team up until, well, the last couple of years. He's been sat in the under-20s waiting for his moment. You know, his time has finally come. You can see the rest of the team. Robinson's going to play right back and McDermott at left back. That's fairly normal. Goalkeeper-wise, well, you can see here, of our goalkeepers, 4 of the 5 in our entire team have been called up for international duty, and they're all with Northern Ireland. In fact, if we look at the Northern Ireland national team, just because you might be curious, in terms of our players in the senior team, Jared Thompson, McCoyd, Kieran Kane, Glenn Dining, Morrison, Frame and Ironman. Under 21s, we don't want my view here, we want the general view. You can see how things look here. Cowan, O'Hara, Walsh, Crawford, Cockbill, Thomas Craig, Stewart. And then under 19s, I don't actually know if we have any players in the under 19s. We actually have one, Lloyd Bryan, or Byrne, who's actually out on loan somewhere, apparently. Is he out on loan? Why is he blue? I don't know. Answers on a postcard. I'm just wondering if these under 21 players are any good who have been released. They were probably released by... I was going to say they were probably released by us. It doesn't look like they were. Maybe I should just sign them for the sake of signing them. Either way, that's kind of the situation we're in right now. We're a little bit down to bare bones. So, I mean, who has our assistant picked here? Because I can't really argue against what he picks because there isn't really a team to be picked here. Felix is back. I mean, he can just play, can't he? This is like the get-together. It's like the reunion. Players who you probably thought had left the club at various points, they're all back. I will say, in the attacking midfield department, we're actually pretty much at full strength. It's just the defence in the midfield where things fall apart. Musa Sissoko's on 79% condition, which isn't ideal. So I think we'll give Tommy O'Donnell the nod there. I mean, fortunately, we have such a big team. Otherwise, this could be a lot worse than... Well, it is. I did not mean to take you out. I'm just wondering, because we're only allowed 5 players on the bench, I might want to get on a centre midfielder. But with all the injuries, who is the go-to centre midfielder? Is it Barry Hutchinson? Maybe. Maybe it is. I mean, look how big our team is when you include the under-20s in it. I'm going to be honest. I don't really know because there's just so many injuries and stuff. It's just very difficult to pick a team. I might just trust that my assistant's done the best job with the pieces that he's got. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what we've had to deal with repeatedly. I will say now, we probably don't need Neco Williams and Duggan, but Duggan can also play centre-back, so he can stay there. Dixon, by logic, has to be on the bench, but I kind of want to play Janelle Bennett and Phoenix Patterson for the throwback if I need to. But I should probably have another defender on the bench, but I don't know what other defenders I have. I guess we could bring in Ryan Newell. That then gives us some coverage in the centre mid department there, and he's another player who, you know, was a key player when he first came in, but really just hasn't played that much in recent years. As the club's grown, he has not. Right. I think this is just the team that we're going to go with, and we'll just see how we go. It's a big game. This is a cup final, as much as I'm kind of coming in with a very laid-back attitude. I feel like I have to be. If I was too emotionally concerned, I would be more annoyed about the international situation. Just a bit of note, Victor Fundy, our former man, is their striker. And you can see here, we sold him to Crusaders. He then went to Addons. He's done okay for them. Not great on the average rating front, although he's consistently been not so great. I don't know what the big black thing was in the background there on the pitch. I can only assume it's our stadium. Either way, right, let's get into this. This has been it's been a bit of a weird episode, hasn't it, so far? And with our current squad situation, it's going to continue to be weird. The worst thing about this international situation is I think we have games after this match where I'm going to have the exact same problem to deal with. So This cup final's not ideal, but if this is something that I'm going to have to deal with for a few games, and given our fixture congestion, I imagine it probably is, it's not ideal. I don't know what we're going to do if Robson gets injured in goal, because our next 4 kind of first choice goalkeepers are all away just for different Northern Irish youth teams. Right, anyway, let's see how we get on here. Pestridge, crunching tackle. I'm hoping that, you know, playing with our fairly normal attack, we will score plenty, and hopefully that can mask over any defensive issues we might have due to the lack of a natural centre-back. Anyway, Pestridge, lovely finish by him. It's only his 6th goal of the season. Maybe I've got nothing to worry about here. It's the 2 Crew players, or former Crew players, linking up well, just in right, leaving it off, or laying it off rather, to Stevie Pestridge. A little bit congested in the middle. Right though, very unselfish, an intelligent ball, and then tucked into that bottom corner by Stevie. And now Lil from a set piece. He is a specialist from these situations. This time it whistles narrowly over the crossbar, but at least the early stages seem to suggest that despite half of our team being missing, we should be performing kind of as expected really in this kind of game. Kerr at left back, loads of time on the ball here for Addons, so we're going to try and build it from the back. Curb, one big ball over Fundy. He might not be the most technically gifted player, but we have to be wary of his pace. And well, we're going to try and build from the back here. It's going to be the Otter himself with the big ball forward to right. Lovely touchdown. Breaks in behind, tucks it away. What an assist that was by the Frenchman. The ball up was great. To be fair, right, not the quickest player, but that touch that he got out of his feet really allowed him to move on to the ball. And, well, having got him behind the high line of Addons, it was a tidy little finish by the number 91. It's his 18th goal of the season. And, well, hopefully we can see more of that going forward. That's exactly what I wanted to see from him right there. This does allow me to relax a little bit, you know. Going into this, as much as I was really happy and excited about the prospect of a cup final, I was a little bit concerned that we might bottle it completely with our national team situation, shall we say, with half the squad missing. It was a bit of a concern in the back of my mind, but it seems like as Lil scores an absolute screamer, I had nothing to worry about. Can we discuss that free kick by Lil? That was filthy. It's his 7th goal of the season, and it's just, I mean, no one is stopping that. No one. Take a bow. I've complained in the last couple of episodes about the fact he's just not been as good as last year. He has been getting a little bit better as of late. And well, it's showing on the scoreline just how we've been that little bit better. This has kind of been how a lot of our recent domestic games have gone. I've talked about the fact we have been starting to score a few more. You've kind of seen that a little bit here. We've been very clinical with the chances that have come our way, and ultimately at half-time here, it is going to be 3-0 with a chance for it to maybe be 4 in the dying seconds here. Lil to right. Good block by their defender, and they'll hoof the ball clear. But right now we are running them ragged. They've had one shot all game. Not too concerned about complacency, so I'm just going to praise the players for that first half. It would be harsh, even by my standards, to criticise them for their performance in that half. We've been by far and away the better team in this cup final. And to be fair, defensively, despite the somewhat kind of band-aid solution we've come up with, we actually look competent, which is better than we normally look defensively, to be honest. Competent is a compliment in many ways. Anyway, hopefully we can keep the clean sheet and add a few more. That would be the ideal, I guess, fallout of the second half. We're on the attack here. Pestridge, lovely touch. Lays it to right. Oh, what a goal that is. Wright's on for his hat-trick and also his 20th goal of the season if he can bag one more this half. Pestridge, a lovely little run. Lays it off. Returns the favour for the earlier goal in which Wright assisted Pestridge. And yeah, that little touch there is delightful. Sucks in the defender. And that finish tucks it into the bottom corner. Cool, calm, collected. I'm a little bit concerned about Lil being on a booking. I almost want to sub him off, but he's having one of those games where he's playing so well I almost don't want to take the wind out of his sails, and now they're going to have a man sent off, I think, which is excellent. Right, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go more attacking at this point. I feel like there's absolutely no harm in doing this now because they are probably going to be panicking and shutting up shop. Lil, free kick, blocked this time. Rebound, maybe it deflects, and well, Johnson did well to react. It would have been very fortuitous if we had managed to score from that deflected shot. They did deal with it though in the end, which is well, a first for Addons here as Fundy wins the ball. It would be pretty typical if, having had a player sent off and switched to more attacking, they scored immediately. I think there was a goal kick given them when it hit the crossbar, but it like spun out of play and back in. That was very weird. Right, can we add a few more now? We've got a bit more attacking. We're surrendering some of our kind of conservative play. And, well, O'Connor, what a run that is. Right, I mean, there's his hat-trick. What a finish that was. A little bit questionable, that long-range effort. I feel like he had space to run into, but you can't really question it with that kind of finish from range. Lovely little bit of build-up play here. O'Connor's run is superb as well here. Just drives in, beats his man, pulls the centre-back across. It creates a space and a place for Wright to squeeze the ball in, and with no one in front of him to block that shot and the keeper, well, slow to react, we get a goal. And now Lille with a set piece. I mean, there you go. Was that better than the last free kick? I'll let you guys decide. 6-0. We are, well, bullying them at this point. Poor Addons. I almost feel a bit bad. That free kick, though, I don't think it's quite as satisfying as the last one. I always prefer it when the free kick's swinging away from goal as opposed to into the goal. But, I mean, look at the average ratings on our team. Crazily high here. O'Connor to Pesteridge. I mean, we want more. We want blood. Pesteridge scores. I'm not sure what happened then, because I think it deflected off the defender, but it almost looks as if the defender tried to kick it clear and just kicked it into his own goal. I mean, is there match fixing going on here? I'll let you decide. Questionable defending, I think, at the very least. It's 7-0 here. I would rather have all these goals in the league games against Addons, but I guess it's nice to do it in a live com, but it does also kind of show why... Oh my god, they've actually scored immediately. I mean, fair play. This does show why, when it comes to live comms, I'm not always so on board and so keen to do the domestic games, because this is kind of what they've turned into sometimes. It almost feels like a slog to get through a sequence of these kind of games. It had actually been a little bit refreshing that in the last month or so, you know, it had been a little bit closer. I'm going to shout and demand more from the players. Why the hell not? We're 7-1 up. We're running rampant. I mean, Robert Downey hasn't got a goal yet. Where is he? Oh, of course, he's not here. Jim Meister's there instead. He's the replacer. Jim Meister whips in Pesteridge. Heads it wide of the mark. He's going to be looking for his hat-trick, of course, as well. I like to believe that Stevie Pesteridge and Wright get on so well, having played at Crewe together, that they just learn to share the match ball between them. I think we will bring in Bannon. But actually, I don't really want to take off anyone. I'll take off Lille on a booking and bring in Phoenix Patterson for a cameo. And we'll do the same with O'Connor. So, you know, a bit of a throwback now, I guess, to Bennett and Patterson on the wings for us. Let's see if they can maintain the level of performance and the standard that's been set by the other players on the pitch. McDermott here from fullback, surely not. I mean, if McDermott's having pot shots at you from 20 yards out, you know that it's not a great day at the office, because that is kind of taking the Michael here. Right, Janelle, what can you do with it? Goes to Pesteridge, who is, of course, looking for that hat-trick now. He is the kind of unselfish player, though, who will just look to set up people if needs be. McDermott here, crosses it in. Phoenix back post. O'Donnell it falls to. He hits the woodwork and it hits the keeper on the back. I feel bad. This is like when you go and watch a juniors game of football. You know, like a youth football game. And there's just one team who's just clearly not as good and you kind of just feel a little bit bad. I don't mean it in a patronising way, but this goal here just... I mean, when it's not your day, it's not your day. And I feel a bit bad. I feel bad for a digital team. It's 8-1 in the cup final. Imagine you've got up for your team's cup final. You know you're underdogs, but you're going in there with some hope. And then you have, well, 4 players in your team who perform above a 6.0 and you're losing 8-1. I mean, it would be a little heartbreaking, wouldn't it? Robinson to Phoenix Patterson. Goes inside to Pesteridge. That is a name in Phoenix Patterson I never thought I'd say again. Pesteridge tries to bend it in for his hat-trick. Unfortunately, the keeper does deny him. 2 minutes left for Pesteridge to get the hat-trick. Can he get it? Ball whipped in. It's cleared away, but only as far as Janelle Bennett, who will go out to the Otter. He has space to maybe get the ball into the box. Backheels it to O'Donnell, to Pesteridge. He's looking for it. Backheels it to Wright. Wright tucks it away. It's his 4th of the game. Pesteridge with another assist for the collection. It's 9-1. Let's go very attacking for the last 2 minutes, or minute and a half, in an attempt to get 10. because I'm nice like that. Okay, I think it's going to end. We're not going to make it to double figures. It's a little bit heartbreaking, but I mean, the performance itself, considering we're missing our normal defence, is relatively pleasing. I mean, maybe O'Sheen and Jim Meister should just play as our centre-backs every game. Maybe that's where I've been going wrong here. Phoenix Patterson bringing it forward, but I feel like this can't amount to anything. It's gone to the back post. Janelle Bennett, surely not. Surely, no, it's not happening. We're not getting 10. I'm sorry to disappoint you all, but a long second match, longer than I expected. 9-1 it finishes. We lift the silverware. I feel bad. I feel bad. I feel dirty. I mean, look at their team's average ratings. 1, 2, 3, 4. They had 6 players below a 6.0 rating. I've never seen a team performance that bad. I mean, the player who got sent off was one of their better performers because he wasn't on the pitch for all the bad stuff that happened. I feel like FM might want to reevaluate how they look at average ratings when it comes to stuff like that. But in terms of our performance, a 9.9 from Justin Wright. He got man of the match, I think. I don't think we got a 10.0. You can see Pesteridge, 2 goals and 2 assists to his name. But Wright, the man of the moment there. Banging in goals for fun. For 21, I think, for the season now it was. And yeah, with that, we win the County Antrim Shield, which we were expected to win. But nevertheless, it's still good to match those expectations. Anyway, bit of a weird situation now. Of course, we are now going into the World Cup, which does mean that, well, we're not going to be back for a little while. It's actually not that many games in the grand scheme of things, but we're going to be back on the 5th of January for the game against Lokomotiv Moscow. We'll have a look at the World Cup and see how things get on there. Northern Ireland didn't qualify, for those of you who might have been wondering about that. And besides that, it's really going to be now a shift in focus to the league where we do sit very pretty at the top of the table, but Glenavon are kind of keeping on our tails, at least for now. But yeah, that's going to be all from us today. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Bit of a weird second game. If you made it to the end, thank you for watching to the end. I feel like some people are going to get bored of that second match and just turn off. But hopefully there was some pleasure to be enjoyed from seeing Phoenix Patterson and Janelle Bennett make their appearances. And whilst it probably won't happen again, hopefully we can have an equally as pleasing result next time out against Lokomotiv Moscow. So anyway, that's all from me guys today. I will talk to you guys soon. See you in January. I'm going to enjoy an advent calendar in game. And yeah, I will see you guys very, very soon next time. It is me, Jack, and I'm out.